newspapers were most important. Before TV, before radio, back in the beginning of the 20th century. The newspaper was one person, basically. There was a guy who was the editor and the publisher. He was out in the community. He was engaging with people. Everybody identified him as being the newspaper. He knew everybody in town. Everybody in town knew him. He knew everything that was going on, and he put it in the newspaper. So people read the newspaper, cared about the newspaper, because it was about them. It was about their lives. And they even felt ownership of that paper. It was like the editor of the paper was almost like their employee. And so they had a conversation with him that way. They would engage with the newspaper. If they thought he did something stupid, they'd say, "You idiot, why did you do that?" And he would talk back. He would say, "Well, I did this for this reason," or "I thought this," or "Thank you for straightening me out," or "You're an idiot too, you don't know what you're talking about." But there would be that conversation. There would be this back and forth. It was real people engaging. We've lost that in newspapers. We've become just too separate from our communities. Part of that is the mobility in life, and it was unavoidable. The internet has certainly accelerated things, but newspapers' problems don't revolve around the internet. The internet should have been the greatest thing that ever happened to newspapers, because after salaries, where do newspapers' expenses come in? It comes from everything involved in printing and distributing a newspaper. You've got to buy those massive printing presses. You've got to buy ink. You've got to buy paper. You've got to buy trucks to distribute it. You've got to pay people to get it off the press onto the trucks. You've got to pay people to get it from the trucks to the newsstands and people's homes. It's a lot of money. You lose a ton of money circulating a newspaper. Well, we don't have to circulate a newspaper anymore. That's the way we should have seen this. This is our chance to do our business, which is getting news and information out to people without having to worry about the printing press. And I loved the printing press. I love the feel of a newspaper. I love being around the press. I love hearing it, but its day is come and gone. And it's an expense we don't need. So that's sort of the real quick version of why we've come to Patch, because what we're trying to do with Patch is restore that community feel of a newspaper, get that engagement back with the readers, and frankly do a lot more than a newspaper could ever do, because we have all the opportunities that the internet presents. So we can do a package of stories if that's the best way to tell what's going on. We can do a slideshow. We can do video. We can have the database that we're basing our investigative story on right there for people to refer to. We don't have to waste time and energy trying to cut that one more line off the story so it fits on a page, because there's no page to fit on. One of the crazy things about all the technology we've introduced in the newspaper business over the years, all the pagination systems, direct-to-plate, newspaper deadlines are earlier than ever. Because everything we've done, it's made a much nicer looking newspaper. It's made a much more accurate newspaper, at least up until the point where we started cutting all the editors. But it's not as timely. We've made the newspaper less useful to people because we kept having to make earlier deadlines to accommodate all the technology. It shouldn't be that way. The technology should be a tool to make the product better, not the other way around. So again, we get rid of the printing press, we get rid of the deadlines, we eliminate that problem. Now suddenly when the news happens, we get it out there to people right away. We can do it on the web, we can do it by Twitter, we can do it by Facebook, we can do it by whatever comes next, whatever we need to. Get it in people's hands, with mobile device, computer, whatever. And engage with people while we're doing it. So they have an idea, they see some news happen, they let us know, we get on it. They have a comment on something that we've done. We comment right back, we get into a conversation with them. Readers can go to our site, go to our Facebook page, whatever, and they can have a conversation about what's going on. We want to be that place where not only people get their information, but that's where they go and they talk about it. Because people are busy and they can't sit around a town square anymore and talk about things. But they can go to a patch and talk about things at their convenience. So that's what we're trying to do.